Hello all and welcome back to iDrive Daily. Before we get started on today's video, I want to thank you all for an incredible year. Without your support, all of this would have been pointless. I've had over 50 subscribers join our community and thousands of people have viewed my content. So I want to thank you. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Consider hitting that subscribe button and joining us on our journey so that you can learn a little bit more about what it's like to daily drive and own a C5 Corvette for the long haul. I am coming up on my second year of ownership, and I think the best way to celebrate that anniversary is to talk about whether or not I even still like this thing. Do I still like my C5 Corvette? While the short answer is yes, I want to explain why this answer isn't exactly black and white. There are quite a bit of nuances to it. You see, I love the way the car looks, especially from a distance. From my lunchroom at work, I can view the parking lot, and the Corvette stands out as a sharp ride among the sea of sedans and SUVs. Even when parked next to the 5.0 Mustang, the Vette still looks mean. In my opinion, I think the lines of the C5 have aged well, which is kind of funny because just 3 years ago, I would have never thought of buying a Corvette, let alone a C5. The C5s just weren't my favorite body style. But owning one, that has changed my perspective. I fall in love with my car every time I see it. However, it's created a new pet peeve of mine. I have never before been bothered by how dirty my car got. I'd wash it every 6 weeks or so, but with the Corvette, I've become much more sensitive to dirt. I wash it at least every other weekend in the summer and once a month in the winter, often cringing once it starts to get really dirty. Don't even mention to me the few light scratches or nicks it's gotten during my ownership. That really has begun to bother me to the point I'm considering having the car detailed professionally and all of the scratches corrected. That's just the aesthetics. As a daily driver, I get to see the C5 Corvette perform in a wide range of situations. Whether I'm just stuck in my daily commute or I'm letting all of my horses run free on the highway, you know what? The Corvette is just a lot of fun to drive. The steering and suspension make you feel connected directly to the road. Although the stock suspension is a bit soft as the car will occasionally nosedive during harder braking. Even with the stock exhaust, which will change someday, the roar of the LS1 V8 piques my aural senses, and the T56 manual transmission feels wonderful to shift. Although I will admit that I do miss the click of my father's C4 Corvette. Now, most of the time the Corvette rides great, but with that connection to the road comes some responsibility. While a slightly bumpy road is fine, I've also come to learn where potholes are and what route I need to take to avoid them. Then we can talk about Milnor Street, a road I take once every 2 weeks that is so bad I generally ride it at 10 miles an hour under the limit, much to the dismay of the drivers behind me. As for the manual transmission, now while I would not trade it for an automatic, it does become tiresome at times. So what I mean is, if I'm on my way home from work, my left leg probably just doesn't feel up to doing the clutch work, especially if I've had a very long day at work. Recently, I've run into code C1214, a common fault code linked to the traction control and ABS module on the C5 era Corvette. Although I was able to fix it, this is a notoriously difficult code to work with, as there are several problems associated with the error. Just go back and look at some of the comments under my videos from a few weeks ago. The time lost to mechanical problems are actually a positive though. You see, when I bought the Corvette, I knew there was a community behind me that would help me learn the art of mechanics. I wanted to learn, and I chose the C5 Vet as my Picasso.
So the last 2 years have been far from perfect, but I've actually learned a lot about not only the Corvette, but myself. You see, when I first bought this car, I was afraid I wasn't going to like it. I was coming from luxury sedans.
But 2 years later, I do not regret my purchase at all. I honestly feel sad when I don't get to drive my Vet. Seeing a Pontiac or Cobalt key hanging in my locker after work makes me feel a certain way, and not the same way that my Corvette keys do. Having this car has really connected with my love of driving the way other cars I've owned were just not able.
If you're looking to purchase your own Corvette, check out my video here. Do your research and be prepared to give up a few days a year if the weather is bad or the car might need repair.
You can also check out my first video on why I bought my C5, although it is a bit outdated as I've organically grown into this channel. I'd like to remake that at some point in the future. You know, there's honestly a lot more I could say on this topic. I think I'll split it into a few episodes over the next season. The C5 Corvette is really a love-hate relationship that, of course, leans towards love, because the positives far outweigh the negatives.
So, if you drive a Corvette, and any generation is fair game, what are some things you like about the car? What are your least favorite things about the car? Throw it down in the comments. Also, if you had unlimited amount of money and unlimited resources, what would you change about the C5 Corvette that would just make it better in your opinion? Finally, I look forward to next year and continuing to grow this channel. I have some pretty cool ideas of what to add, some new things, and there's going to be some changes I'm pretty excited about. So I look forward to seeing you all in 2020. Have a great holiday.